Let's start with a bit of history. Mystic Quest was made by Squaresoft back in 1992. The idea behind the game was pretty simple. Square wanted to further promote their Final Fantasy series, but didn't think Westerners could handle the more complicated gameplay, so they came up with the idea of an entry-level RPG for the Western market. This was actually the first Final Fantasy game released in PAL regions. So, entry-level certainly describes the game well. Instead of a full party like most Japanese RPGs, you get only one character with a rotating cast of characters who come and go as a second party member. The second character does not level up, and you cannot change their equipment or stats. All equipment is a straight upgrade on the last piece you got. You got a steel sword, here's a knight sword. You got an axe, here's a battle axe. Don't worry about spending that precious brain power trying to figure out the best setup for your character. If it's newer, it's better. End of story. The story, too, is really bare bones. Your prophecy to save the world by finding 4 crystals. Go do it. What are you waiting for? A backstory? What do you need that for? Forget complex characters or morally ambiguous decisions, there's no time for that. Enemy design looks decent at first, but it doesn't take long to figure out that almost all the enemies in the game are reskins of each other. If it's clearly not anything special and pales in comparison to games like Chrono Trigger, Final Fantasy IV, and Final Fantasy VI, then why am I recommending a game that, in most aspects, is an inferior product? Well, if you're even somewhat familiar with this game, you probably know the answer already, and you've probably just been waiting for me to get to the point. That's right, I know you're waiting for the payoff here. That sick grindy drop as we roll into some of the best 16-bit metal ever rendered through a sound chip. That's right, it's the music. This game has some of the most unique and energetic music in an RPG from this time period, and I absolutely love it. Hell, I even owned the official CD soundtrack at one point. A mix of metal mayhem marauding magnificently amongst machine-managed magic and mayhem. Look, there's tons of games out there with great soundtracks that we can all point to. The games I mentioned earlier are obvious examples, but there's so many more. But how many games have such a unique reputation? The game is almost universally criticized, often even reviled by Final Fantasy fans, yet how many bad games get multiple fan covers? This shit is awesome, that's why. Alright, well we got the music out of the way, but the title of the video isn't why Mystic Quest has some redeeming value, it's why you should play Mystic Quest. So let's talk about that. All of the criticisms I listed at the start of the video are fair, and they are accurate. But there's one thing that I left out. These are all criticisms based on comparing Final Fantasy Mystic Quest to other Final Fantasy games. And it's true. Fans expecting another instant classic on the level of the best RPGs from Squaresoft had every right to be disappointed when Mystic Quest failed to measure up. But it's been almost 30 years at this point, and we have the benefit of hindsight. Now, Mystic Quest does have a few things going for it that make it stand out from other games from the 16-bit era. The ability to use your weapons to clear obstacles is a unique feature that a lot of turn-based RPGs from the time never bothered with. Swapping weapons in the middle of combat to find what your enemies are weak to is kinda cool too. And having enemies show damage as the fight progresses is a nice touch. The lack of random encounters is also something I appreciate. In dungeons, monsters are spread out and block key points, allowing you to pause between fights to heal or plan your next encounter. In the overworld, battles take place in arenas you can go to if you want to level up. Each arena has 10 encounters, and you'll get a reward when you finish an arena. The battles themselves, while not the most challenging I've ever encountered, aren't exactly mindless either. I've had times when I've pushed my luck or been caught off guard, only to face the game over screen. And when you do die, Mystic Quest respects your time, allowing you to start the battle over and try again immediately. There are other ways Mystic Quest respects your time as well. The battles themselves are usually very fast, with most being done in a minute or less once you know what you're doing. Dialogue is quick and snappy and only takes a few seconds before letting you get back to the game. Even the introductory sequence only takes a minute or two, and that's counting the battle you get to fight. And you can save anywhere and at any time, without needing to hunt for save points. The key to enjoying Mystic Quest is simple. Just change your expectations. Don't go into it expecting a traditional Final Fantasy game. It just isn't one. It's a different kind of experience, and it's one I think has its own merits. After years of challenging JRPGs have come and gone, going back and playing a game like this is refreshing. While Mystic Quest was considered disappointing at the time, and understandably so, I'd argue it's gotten better with age. As games progressed, it's increasingly been able to stand out as something unique. Games like this scratch a different kind of itch for me. This isn't a game I'd play for challenging gameplay or a story that makes me think. This is a game that I'd play as a meditative task. It's a soothing game that takes the aesthetics and mechanics of games I already love and wraps them up into something I can do without having to think too much about it. I can put up a video to watch, talk to a friend on the phone, or just unwind and do something relaxing. I often have trouble sitting still and thinking, and I sometimes get my best or most creative ideas when I am doing something else. Usually, it's something that keeps me engaged but still allows my mind to wander. To sum it up, Mystic Quest is not a gourmet meal. It's RPG comfort food, and sometimes that's just what I'm in the mood for. We've all been in that weird mental state of what I call gamer apathy from time to time. You're restless, but also feeling tired, or lazy. You want to play a game, but none of the games you have feel compelling. Next time you're feeling that way, give Mystic Quest a try. It might be just what you're looking for. Don't forget to turn up the volume.